Greetings. It is I, Jonathan. So we had, there were some interesting things going on tonight, right? I can't see people now. That's all right. Um, but everything now is so that this can be recorded. I want this put on YouTube. Um, I want to start doing that now because we're in a very difficult time for people. Things are shifting constantly, and the energies have become more chaotic than ever before. Now, we've talked about the energies, and that's the shifting that's coming in. And then there would be a lot of chaos anyway, because this Aquarian energy is very strong and it's moving in, and this has been set in motions eons ago. So, but what happens, energy is neutral. And what is happening is people are being very upset about what they see unfolding everywhere in the world. And some of these people who are in very authoritarian places are using this energy incorrectly. It's a misuse of energy, but they are picking up the energy, and it's very chaotic, but it feels powerful to them. So they're not in the fear of it like so many other people are. And then they are using this energy because it is making them feel as if the world is theirs and everyone underneath them is not worth considering. That's what we're picking up now in some of the places where the leadership is. And it's creating great fear among people. It's creating great unrest. And it's it's I've heard people say it's like Alice in Wonderland. And I looked that up before to see what that was. And I see why they are saying that, because what's happening is you have people now trying to get rid of places that have been there for hundreds of years all over the world, different circumstances, different governing techniques, and it's everywhere. It's not just happening in your country, but your country is really the worst about it, because this country that you live in is a country that's very powerful, very wealthy country, and they can impact many other countries. So it's creating worldwide fear. Now, what needs to happen is the people in this country are going to have to stand up. You're going to connect with the people who you have sent to represent you. You are going to have to connect with all of them. Call them, send emails, letter writing. People are getting very agitated, and the way they need to use that energy is to show the people that you have put in place that you are watching, you are unhappy. You know, your government, you have so many people in this country. A lot of them don't vote and they don't really pay attention, but they are now because it's starting to affect their pocketbooks. They thought, foolishly, they thought when there was a change in government, the prices would drop immediately. Well, they've gone up. So they're getting agitated. And there are a lot of things that your government leaders are trying to do that have not been acceptable before, and they're not acceptable now. They're not looking at the people, they are looking at each other, the ones who have money, and they want the time on with the cameras on them so they think they can shine and show how powerful they are. It's creating many issues. Many things that they are attempting to do are completely against your laws. And so the courts are going to be very busy. And you need to be doing your part as citizens. And it needs to go out that people react, that they, no matter how busy they are, if they want the same type of connections that they've had in the past with the schooling, with the health, if they want those things, they are going to have to connect with these people. Some of these people making these changes, they want the spotlight on them, but they really don't expect anyone to stand up to them. And so once that happens, and it's a lot of people, they will start to back off some. It's going to be a very tumultuous time, and it will continue. And many, many things are going to wind up in the courts. The courts will get really clogged, but that's a good thing because once these things go to the court, it stops them. And most of the judges, not the Supreme Court, there's something very strange going on with that court. But most of the judges in this country are decent people. And they became judges because they value the law. And this is a country of law. So what I can tell you right now is this will continue. When they try to eliminate all the positions, nothing can happen. Those jobs are necessary. Those people do things. And so it will freeze things. They're going to create more problems than were there. Many of these things that they are trying to do, the jobs they are trying to take away, many of them have unions who will go to work, but people have to stand up and say no and connect with them. You have to do this. You cannot ignore it. You know, in the past, you could let a government go in and, you know, you would watch what they do. You wouldn't like some of these things, but most of the governments you've had probably in the last 50, 60 years, I mean, you had some who have really loved the power and wanted more and tried to break the law, but were caught. But most of it, people who were in those positions believed in the law. And they didn't want people coming at them all the time with anger. So you're going to see a continual spin now. It will be constant, and you will see changes in some of the news medias who have likened this man, they are starting to become fearful. All of these different groups who have some power are not going to just stand and watch. They don't want their power taken away. You need to remind them of who you are. It will be up and down. It will be chaotic. Many things they're trying to do are going to be sitting in the court systems, and many federal workers are very confused about what to do. What I can tell you now is to go into prayer. That's all, and try to be peaceful. Some of them will be leaving. They will look for other jobs because it's not that easy anyway to be a federal employee. There are many hoops you have to jump through and many different things that can happen. And so it takes a lot of energy. So there will be people in very high positions, not political appointees, but people who've worked for the government who have said, this is enough, and they're going to be leaving. What's going to happen with all of this is everything with the federal government will be slowed. The people they say they don't need anymore are needed, and it will slow everything down to a crawl. And it will be constant chaos. Very little will be achieved. But you have to, everyone needs to stay strong because you have a group there who don't want a democracy. And you have a person leading who does not want a democracy. He wants to be the only one. He's watched some leaders in different countries, and he wants that kind of power. Now, it's up to the people in this country to stop it, but I will tell you, you will be surprised. There are some things going on behind the scenes with some of these Republican lawmakers who are feeling uneasy because they think they are seeing that he would move them out of there. They would lose the job they have. Some of them don't do very much and they make a lot of money, and that's why they've supported him. But you will see shifts now. You will start to see cracks. But it's up to the people of this country to stand strong and to fight what you're seeing, to stand for the rule of law. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to say. We believe in the rule of law. And the law says all are equal in your country. Other countries, the reason I'm talking about this instead of going into spirit, this is spirit. This is your life. And you are having to walk through this morass that you're seeing here and stay centered. And it's not easy, and it's very, very stressful. Whatever you can do to move yourself away from the stress sometime, get with another friend and do some prayer work together, or get with a friend and just talk about peaceful things. Do some things with artistic things. Now, I know you might not want to be an artist, but do some things like that with color, because color, the energy will help calm you, help move you out of this space. Whatever you can do in the the spare times you have to move yourself out of all this chaos would be a good thing, because it's going to take a toll and you don't want to get sick. You want to be able to stay strong and do your work. The way the energies are moving through, it's not going to slow down now. Remember, I think I talked to you last year and I said there would be different times where it would slow. It will not now. It will continue on this pace. And I also said this would be a good time now for you to start looking into things like how to grow food, how to do purify water, how to do different things. You won't need it for a couple years, but start learning now, because you are going to have to depend on yourselves more than you've had to. Other people will be depending on your peace and your strength. So what I'm saying, I know. I usually try to give you much more of a positive message, but my positive message now is I believe that the way things are going in this country, you will continue to keep your democracy, because what I'm seeing is people who have never gotten involved before don't like what they're seeing. They're proud of this country. They're proud to be a country that has law and treats people supposedly equally. Yes, you have people who dislike other people because of their lifestyle, because of their color, whatever. It makes them feel somewhat superior, but it's not the majority. It isn't. Most of the people in this country are happy and proud to be Americans. And that's because America has stood for some very good things. But the main thing this country has always had is a rule of law, and it has served you well. And that is what you want to stand up for. So when you are connecting with these leaders, remember to mention that to them. This is what should be happening, but you're going to have the courts clogged. And Gary, remember I told you, I think the last time, how strange things were going to be at work. And I told you it was this would happen, and then you were told not to do that, and then this would happen and told not to do that. That will continue. I think, though, I will tell you this, I believe your job is secure at the moment. I don't think that you are going to be in that group. I think your group is fairly consistent. I do think that some of the work you do is necessary, that they're going to see you have to have you people that are doing things. And it's not going to make a big show. You're connected to a big Air Force base where you work. And so that's part of the importance of protecting this country. So we'll see what happens. I do see they are going into the Pentagon, the big place they're trying to make changes. They won't be able to do a lot of the things they're saying, though, because they're not legal. But what I'm saying to you right now, Gary, is that I feel you're secure there, but the stress level is not going to go away. And there would be other positions in not government, but in, outside companies that would be something you might like. But I will tell you, if they keep getting rid of federal employees, what do you think is going to happen? to your economy, it's going to hurt your economy. So it's just really very chaotic, and they're acting as if it's a brand new country and they're setting things up. So they're trying to dismantle things that have been there for a long time. So a lot of these things, even the people that he put in who don't seem to be very decent people, are going to balk at some of these things because they'll lose their power. So it's very chaotic right now. And the things I can say to you are different little things to relax. But the thing I want you to keep in your mind, don't give up. Know that your democracy is strong and it will survive, and more people will join this. Well, it's not really a fight. What you will be doing is reminding them of their job and who you are, and that you are the taxpayer. So I wish I could give you some news that would help you to deal with all of this uncertainty and chaos. The most I can tell you right now is it will be constantly shifting. There will be big court cases, court fights. Things will be really very stagnant. The government's not going to be moving much at all. So do you have some questions about that? Because this is what I'm reading in the vibration, in the energies.
Jonathan, this is Gary. I appreciate your message and your support. I know that when I look at this, I hope that when I interpret your message, it's for all of us. It's not just for Gary.
Yes.
Because I don't want Jonathan to be selfish, and I don't want to be selfish. I hope everyone can appreciate your message because it impacts all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate your guidance. I hope that makes sense.
Yes. Are there any questions about this? Because when you said that, you know, the things that are going on in this government impact everyone, whether or not you're a federal worker. There are people who get their income from money they've put into the government before. So it impacts everyone. There isn't anyone in this country that isn't impacted by the things the government does. That's why it has to stay as a rule of law. But I will say, I do not believe you lose your democracy. I believe that people will stand up for it.
Jonathan, this is Judy.
Mm-hmm.
You said last month that Mr. Trump might not survive this. Did you still read that?
I think that he's really having a wonderful time right now. He's enjoying all these energies, and he loves chaos. He loves this. And so, where a normal person would, with all the chaos going on, it could be very difficult for them to deal with. But he loves it because it makes him feel powerful. I don't think he'll finish 4 years. I think probably about the third year, I think he could easily have a life-ending disease, something that his health is not as good as they're pretending. He's never released any health information. And so he does have some issues with this body, but of course they're pretending they're not there. I don't think that he will finish the term. And I don't think that his vice president is that popular either, that he would sweep into office after him. So that would be something for you to, to look forward to, that if he does make his transition, and he will hang on to as long as he can, but he does have some physical issues that he's never told anybody about. And right now, it's not to the point where it would be life-threatening. But there are things going wrong in this body.
Thanks.
Now, are there any more questions about this?
Yes, Jonathan, I just had a question.
Sure.
What do you see about the possibility of a class action lawsuit on the part of American citizens
Oh,
with regard to their congressional representatives and include the whole lot?
oh, that would be interesting. That would really get some attention. I'm not sure if it's legal,
I don't know. That's what I'd have to look.
But-
I don't know if it is or not, but
yeah, but it might be, because if they don't do their jobs, they're being paid to do a job.
Yeah.
And that's not legal, right? So that would be interesting. Some lawyers should check into that, because that would be a very good thing. That would definitely get their attention.
well, they're wasting taxpayer money, and they're also taking right now in the state of Ohio, rather than pay attention to what the voters have voted in, they're going in on top of that and making plans to eradicate it or adjust it, or gonna do away with it, what they voted in.
I
Yeah.
know. So, I hope that people pay attention to that, because they can vote these people out.
Right. I just hope that there's something, I mean, there's some good that comes to that if we come through this, then maybe we can come through giving the American people as a body, as one of the bodies, instead of being three, make it the fourth, with the American people having a little more authority and power to affect who they vote into in positions, and
Yeah. And I will say, here's what I will say. If the shifting happens during his time, that will put everything on end. But if it's longer, then I think it's coming through. There
Yeah.
will be some changes to the presidential office, where
Yes.
some of these rights could be taken away.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, geez, Pete, but what the Supreme Court handed him was just ridiculous. So,
Yeah, that's very interesting, but you will see a shifting there,
yeah.
because they don't want their power taken away, and they're seeing some things happening that I think there was an agreement here between a few of them and the Republican Party, and it's not unfolding the way it was told. So there may be some shifting there as well. And that needs to happen. That Supreme Court needs to be cleansed.
Yeah.
Do you think, this is Judy again,
Mhm.
the energies are so chaotic now and they're changing, but in
Mhm.
2 years, there will be another election that maybe some of these people will be voted out. Do you think that is a possibility?
There will be some changes. There are some that are in office now that are not older that will pass away during their time too. There are some things with some of these, it's the men, the white men, and that aren't that old. Some of them are going to contract some illnesses. Some of them are going to be stressed with the things that are going, and it could create heart issues. But there will be people from that party within the next 2 to 3 years who will be resigning, because it's very stressful. It's not working the way they thought, and their power is completely being diminished.
Well, do you think that people can appeal to them to start to defend the rights of the people and let go of the bullshit that they're doing?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't see, I don't see that big of a change, but I do see some people who are part of his party who they're being stressed as well, and they're getting frightened by what they're seeing. So some of them, I think, are going to be looking for greener pastures where they don't have people coming at them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, anything else on this?
Yeah, Jonathan, this is Gary.
Uh-huh.
I have two questions. We use an expression called double dipping. So I hope that double dipping is okay. And I'm real curious here, and I'm not advocating, anything that would be abusive, but, and I'll be direct. Has there been any discussion, or would there be any cause for the spiritual side? And I'm referring to the spiritual guides, including yourself,
Mhm.
that could intervene in a supernatural way to get a message across. I'm not talking about violence or anything that would be evil, because I know that's not the language that you impart.
Mhm.
But this may be a very foreign subject, but I don't know if there is a supernatural, approach or method that could get our president's attention.
Okay, let me explain this. We would not be permitted to do anything. The only thing we can do is send energy to all of you. He is very, very shut off. In fact, his soul is so quiet that he's running completely on personality, and he really never has permitted the soul for him to listen to his intuition. Never. It Some people come in, and okay, I can't go too much in this, but some people, when they live their life, they shut the soul down. And it looks like that's what's happened here, but I don't have the right to really check on him like that. And we do not have the right to interfere in any way. The only thing we can do is send energy to all of you, loving, healing energy, connecting with your guides, hoping that you listen to your guides. But that is all. We would be in violation. It would just be absolutely wrong.
Yeah. And I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. So there's by no means, any wish or request to cross what I call a red line
Mm-hmm.
that totally goes against the principles of where you operate. So
And here's the thing, that we can't judge. So we will look at everyone on the earth plane and send love,
Mm-hmm.
because you will be home someday, and then you will start to remember, whoever you are, about that lifetime. But we are not permitted not to be, we can't be unconditionally loving to all, because all of you belong to us. no matter who you are or what you've done or how you live your life.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, are all of those questions done? So I get to go talk to everyone.
Good
This is
evening,
a fun
Jonathan.
part.
This is Barbara. This is Barbara.
Uh-huh.
To Gary's point, I don't know if you can answer it, but it seems like
Mhm.
there's a lot of natural things happening in the world, from
Mhm.
volcanic activity, plane crashes, tsunamis, just a lot of things that are occurring. And I wonder if if they're related.
Well, this has been going on for a while now because of all the damage that's been done to the earth and the shifting that probably would have happened 20 years ago or 25 years ago and was put back because all of us, and you were part of it because we're all connected, that the shifting would be held off as long as possible because of the immense damage we felt mankind would not be able to deal with it. So it's been put off, but it's still coming. This damage to the earth has been ongoing. And the tsunamis, these different things, are all connected with that. So does that answer your question? Because this has been going on for what, 10, 15 years or more.
Yes,
And it
it
will
just seemed like
continue
recently it's
to go
worse.
on. There will continue to be this kind of damage.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay.
Before we, is everybody finished?
Huh?
Is everybody finished in the group with asking general questions?
I'm done.
Okay, good. So,
Okay, Jonathan, before we proceed, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording and thank anybody who stopped by to listen to this recording today. We're
okay.
grateful and hope you enjoyed it. We're going to go and stop the recording now.
And then let's let everybody